Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hollywood's World of Sports on YouTube. My name is Hollywood Joe. I'm coming to you from the Hollywood's World of Sports studio, as they would call it over here. Today, I want to recap some of the things that went on during the last week of the NFL offseason. Three big things to talk about today. First and foremost, Peyton Manning to the Broncos. A huge deal for the Broncos. People are making a huge deal about Peyton Manning playing there. Got signed for 5 years, $95 million, making him the highest paid player in the league. And everybody wants to know what I've been thinking about it. So, my take, very bad mistake on John Elway's part as member of the Denver Broncos head office. Peyton Manning missed a whole entire year because of 2 neck surgeries. No one's seen him play. No one can see what he can do in a game. So why would you take that chance and spend that much money? If the guy gets hit the wrong way just once, he'll be crippled for life. And then who do you have as your quarterback? Because of Peyton Manning be joining the Broncos, they decided to trade Tim Tebow to the Jets for a couple of draft picks in this year's draft. Now, as far as the Jets go, I became a Jets fan, personally, myself, because I was a huge Mark Sanchez fan when he played in USC. However, since Mark Sanchez has played in the NFL, he's become nothing more than mediocre. And from what I've been told, he is not willing to learn new things. That's a red flag right there. If he's not willing to learn new things, how do you expect to keep him as your franchise quarterback? Tim Tebow is willing to learn new things, to try and get better at what he does, to prove his critics wrong and be humble about it. Whereas Mark Sanchez doesn't want to learn anything new at all. And then Antonio Cromartie shot off at the mouth about this right after it happened, saying something on his Twitter page about why Tebow, we need more weapons for Sanchez. Well, you know what? There's no reason to have more weapons for Sanchez if he can't complete a pass. I don't know what Cromartie's thinking, but Cromartie, you know how he is, running his mouth all the time. So, I think Tebow to the Jets is going to be a good thing for the Jets in the long run. I honestly think by the midpoint of the season, Mark Sanchez will not be the starting quarterback of the New York Jets. Because not only do you have Tim Tebow, as a quarterback there, you also have Drew Stanton as a backup as well. And Drew Stanton is no slouch himself either. Drew Stanton is a very good quarterback if given the chance to play. So that's the big news with those 2 teams. The real big news, though, I think this is the biggest thing of all, is how harsh the penalties were for the New Orleans Saints being stripped of draft picks, multiple draft picks, mind you. Sean Payton is suspended for a year without pay. The GM and one of the assistants are suspended for 6 games without pay. And former defensive coordinator, who he was going to be the defensive coordinator for the Rams, is suspended indefinitely, Greg Williams. And apparently when it comes time, the players that partook in this, or took part in this bounty program, they're going to be disciplined as well. What their punishment is, we do not know yet, but it's going to be severe according to Roger Goodell. I personally think kick them all out of the league. There's no room for that in the NFL. I understand playing aggressive, playing hard, being a tough guy, but to purposely try to injure somebody and take away their livelihood, suspend them. Kick them out of the league, ban them, do whatever you gotta do. And I'm sure other teams are doing it, but I'm telling you right now, if if they were doing it, they probably stopped after the letter Roger Goodell sent out this past week. So there's a lot of things that have irked me about this week. People coming to Sean Payton's aid and saying he's a great man, he's a great mentor. Well, let me tell you something. No great man, no great mentor would let something go on like this. They wouldn't. So to me, a guy like Sean Payton is a piece of garbage. And that's how I feel about John Elway too. John Elway, the quarterback, I've always respected and admired. I thought he was a great quarterback on the field. But as a businessman, he is complete garbage. I mean, all last year, all you heard was, 1 week I love Tebow, 1 week I don't like Tebow, the next week I like Tebow, the next week he's going to be our quarterback. Following week, he's not going to be our quarterback. John Elway, is he bipolar or what? Because, to me, he screwed Tim Tebow before Tebow really ever had a chance to shine in Denver. And, as people, I've talked to people all week about this, why would you get rid of a quarterback that brought you to the playoffs and knocked off one of the best teams in the AFC in the Pittsburgh Steelers? Dumb. Tim Tebow's healthy. We see how Tim Tebow's playing. We also know that he's hired a quarterback coach to help him, throw better. So to get rid of him because of Peyton Manning, who we don't even know if he's going to be healthy to play, or if he's going to be back to the old form he was, completely stupid. It's just completely, utterly stupid. So between John Elway, Antonio Cromartie, and Sean Payton, those have got to be the biggest three idiots this week in the NFL. And, good for Tebow being humble about it. I gotta tell you, I love Team Tebow and how humble he is about things. Do I like him as a player and his athletic ability? Not so much, but who knows, maybe he'll grow on me, because I am a Jets fan and I have no problem admitting that. But, Denver, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? You're taking a $95 million risk on a guy that you don't know if he can even be a great quarterback again. And I personally think Peyton Manning, even before he got injured, doesn't even have 5 years left in him. I doubt he'll make it 2 years. I'm giving him 2 years. And that's stretching it. So, Denver, brace yourself. Because if Peyton Manning goes down, you guys are screwed. Because you don't got Brady Quinn, you don't got Kyle Orton, you really don't got Tim Tebow now, and you guys are screwed. It's as simple as that. And anybody that thinks I'm nuts, think about it. Would you put $95 million on somebody who just had 2 neck surgeries? 2 neck surgeries. And people were questioning for months his ability to throw. Bad investment. Bad business. John Elway was so far up Peyton Manning's rear end over the last 2 weeks, it's ridiculous. Peyton Manning, good luck to you. I respect your athleticism. I respect how great of a quarterback you are. Hopefully you'll prove me wrong. Hopefully you'll prove others wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, you get hit hard one time. One time. You're screwed. Simple as that. So, that's all for me this week on my NFL roundup, the 3 big stories of the week. I'm sure, with the draft being a month away, there's still going to be a lot more wheeling and dealing going on. So, be sure to check out the blog, hollywoodsworldofsports.com. Check for updates on my YouTube page. I'm always posting about something. So, take care, guys. Have a great week, and stay out of trouble.